After traveling the country full-time in this Class A motorhome for the past 2.5 years, we have some big news to share. We are going to be selling our RV. For those of you who don't know us, my name is Hillary. My husband Chris and I have been traveling full-time in an RV for the past 3 years. We've actually been RVing for about 4.5 years total, and we've been in this RV for 2.5 years. We bought this RV new at a RV super show in Florida back in January of 2023. It was honestly a bit of an impulse buy, but it turned out to be one of the best decisions we've ever made. We have made so many incredible memories in this RV, and we can't wait for it to go to another home for other people to make some incredible memories of their own. We're currently in Michigan at our RV lot here, and we are getting ready to head down to Nashville for what will be the last trip in this RV. So we are heading down to the National Indoor RV Center Music City Motorhome Expo, which is taking place in Lebanon, Tennessee, May 31st through June 4th. We're using that as an event as an opportunity to sell our motorhome through NIRVC, since we've got something new coming up along the way. So in today's video, we're going to take you for a quick tour of the entire exterior, the entire interior. We're going to talk about some of the best features of this RV. We're going to talk about some of the upgrades and fixes that we've made, and also talk through a little bit about how well we've maintained it for the past 2.5 years that we've owned it. We'll go through some of the listing information at the end of this video on where you can find it, where it's going to be available, but without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, babe, you're up. Let's go through the whole exterior, starting with the specs. Tell us about the RV in general.
All right, so this is a 2023 American Coach, American Dream 45A. We've had this now for 2.5 years. Driven it across the country multiple times, got about 30,000 miles on it, just under 30,000 miles. We've had it serviced 3 times. We had it serviced at 6,000 miles, which I did myself, 15,000 miles, which I did myself, and then at 30,000, but we did it at 28,000.
And for those of you wondering if he did it himself is a good thing, just let's say yes, because he used to be a certified mechanic, and he is probably the most mechanically savvy guy I've ever met.
Whether that's true or not, I'm not sure, but I'm definitely neurotic about certain things. So we're starting in the back because I think it's the most important. If you're gonna buy a Class A, if you're gonna buy a large coach, you want a big engine. This actually has the largest engine that you can get in a coach. It's Cummins X15, which is a 15-liter diesel engine, 605 horsepower, 2,000 foot-pounds of torque. We got this so that we could actually tow a stacker trailer without any issue. We don't have the stacker anymore, we tow the Nautilus now, but there's never a hesitation with this thing for towing. I set the cruise control at 72 miles an hour, 73 miles an hour, never an issue going up. We've gone up the Rockies, the Cascades, we've gone up all kinds of mountains. It's actually really good. So from a power perspective and a performance perspective, this is the size engine that you want in your coach.
Yeah, you never want to be underpowered.
No. Again, the X15, 15 liters of pure diesel.
15 liters of pure power.
Pure diesel power. It's been maintained at 15,000 and 30,000 miles. So it's good until 45,000 miles now without a service. And that's because these things take 20 gallons of oil. They're designed for 1 million miles. So when we talk about this thing having 30,000 miles on it, it might sound like a lot, but that's not even 3%. It's about 3% of its total life.
Yeah.
So again, it's designed for 1 million miles.
And you actually don't want an RV with no miles on it that's used, because it means it wasn't driven. And what do you always say? The worst thing for any machine is to sit unused.
Yeah, that's very true. When we got the first coach, we were thinking about that we wanted something with low miles on it. And we bought something that was about 5 years old at the time.
Yeah.
And it had 5,000 miles on it.
Yeah,
and
they never drove it.
One time down to Florida and back. You really want a coach that has been driven 5,000 to 10,000 miles a year, and that's about where ours is at. So it's important, just from, like Hillary said, that everything is moving. The engine's moving, the transmission's being used, everything needs to be the seals need to be lubricated, all of that needs to happen. So it's important that the coach is constantly being used. The worst thing you could do on any engine, on any moving vehicle, is let it sit. The other thing that's important about this is it's got the 20,000 pound hitch. We can easily tow any kind of a towed, but then also easily tow a stacker. So we had a stacker before with 2 cars in it, never had any issue towing that.
And an upgrade that whoever buys this coach is going to get, you're going to get a free Blue Ox Apollo tow bar, which is worth like, I think $2,000 or so. It's a couple $1,000s, so
and
you're going to get that for free.
15,000 pound Blue Ox, so it's the biggest Blue Ox tow bar that they make.
So that's a freebie we're going to give you
even though we've never towed a car that was close to that. That's how I think.
Okay, which side do you want to start with next?
Let's go up this side.
The utility side, as I like to call it.
Yeah, it is the utility side. So let's start with the rear. Important that this thing has, obviously it has DEF because it's a modern diesel, so it's got DEF. We've got a 15-gallon DEF tank. You can access it from both sides. This is the side that I primarily access it from because this is my driver's side, which is where we typically pull in, but you can actually access it from either side. It's got steerable rear tag, so it's not an active steer but a passive steer, so when we turn, the rear wheel will actually turn. It's about a 17% improvement, and what we noticed is we used to have a 37-foot Super C. This will turn tighter than our 37-foot Super C, so never have a problem with this thing getting in and out of anything. It's actually really nice to drive. And
you can see on this side we have the full wall slide, so this is what gives us so much more interior space inside. It's massive. And also, I did just want to note, Chris is a clean freak about the outside of the RV being spotless. I'm crazy about the inside. It's a little bit dirty right now, but it will be washed before we sell it. We just haven't washed it yet.
Been driving too much, traveling too much. So just to go through all the bays, the first thing we have here is the wet bay. One of the things that's nice about this, everything's power. So we've got power electric line, power water lines. Press a button, they draw themselves in. We've upgraded this to eliminate the original water filter. So we've got a Blue Tech water filter, which we love. It's got the 3-stage water filter. Also added in the Blue Tech water softener. This is all tied into the coach. Really easy to take out, but it just happens to fit here really nicely. So when we pull up somewhere, when we plug in, we automatically get the filter and the water softener no matter where we go.
So all Chris has to do is plug in the hose, not all that stuff on the outside, which is super handy.
Super handy.
And that's another upgrade that whoever buys this coach is going to get for free because we are giving that with the coach.
No, it'll stay in the coach.
And that's another worth a couple $1,000s total.
Hillary will talk about some of the control panel stuff later, but underneath here I can see a little bit of the control panel, so I can actually see how the tanks are, what the levels of the tanks are, turn on some of the lights, turn on the water pump. So I've got a small version of the control panel right here. So just moving on, we've got the Aquawatt 450D. So this is actually for heating the interior of the coach, but also keeping hot water in the coach. It's been serviced every single time that we've had the coach itself serviced. So again, replacement fuel filter, checking all the service levels. It's also got UVI lights. So anytime that air is sucked into our tanks, it goes through a UVI light, which actually helps an incredible amount. We don't have any smells at all in this coach from a septic perspective. This is just my electric bay, so you could use it for anything that you want, but right now I've got Starlink and all of our electric stuff in there. This coach has a lot of storage. These bays go all the way through. It's hard to see right now, but you can actually go all the way through if the other side was open. So we can get lots of stuff stored in here.
And one thing too, while you're talking about the bays and everything, these handles on the outside of these bins, they're really nice. They're chrome, but they lock automatically with the key fob or with the lock inside. So with the click of a button, you can lock or unlock all the bins at once, which is super handy.
It's actually really handy. So this is our diesel tank. Access on the driver's side. I can access that tank from either side if we need to. It's 150 gallons. Can fill up from both sides at the same time. And then this is another full-size bin. So we can go, we've got lots of storage,
And Chris put his toolbox here, which fits here perfectly. We have this on our Amazon store, but it's really super handy to have. This will be coming with us, so we're not leaving a toolbox.
Do the stickers come with?
Well, no, the stickers will come with this coach, but whoever buys it will probably take them off, or NIRVC might remove them for us.
Also on the outside, we've got the awnings across each window.
That helps if you're parked in like a bright sunny spot on this side, then we can put those down. It just helps make it so it's not so hot inside the RV.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. This is just access to some of the electric stuff. So we've got some fuses. This is also where I can access the air line. So I've got air hoses in here so I can put air in the tires or air in the Lincoln's tires.
And this is where you can open the front of the RV to access the generator.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna open this up so that way you can see what it's like to get in and access the generator. This always makes our RV look like a transformer when it opens like this.
The generator is another thing that we obviously use quite a bit, but in 2 years, we have less than 100 hours on it.
I think 50 only.
Yeah, just about 50. It's been serviced twice. So even though we hardly ever use it, it actually has been serviced. The oil's been changed.
And we start it up and run it at least once a month for at least 30 minutes under a load like Cummins recommends to keep it maintained. So even if we're not using it frequently, we make sure it is running every now and then. And then this side,
I guess the living side, what Hillary called the other side, the utility side. Yeah. So the living side of the coach, we've got full awning. So you've got the awning over the open door. We don't have them open right now, but we've got a full awning that comes out over the main part of the coach and then a back awning. So this whole side of the coach actually has awnings over the entire side of the coach.
Which makes a huge difference in terms of keeping the RV cooler. It really is a game changer.
Yeah. It's also got everything on it's electronic. So we've got full remote buttons for opening and closing all the bins and locking the doors. But we've also got codes there, which we use more than anything else, right? I mean, I don't think we ever take the keys with us. We always just use that code for keyless entry. Again, this is we don't have to open these, but it's the other side of each of those bins. So
well, let's open them real quick.
Each of those bins come all the way through.
And this is what Chris keeps clean and organized at all times.
No, we try to.
Lots of bins and lots of things in them.
I mean, there's tons of storage. We live in this full time. There's lots of room for us to still have space. We don't have any storage issues. Same here, just another bin full of stuff.
You don't have to open that one.
A bin full of bins.
A bin full of bins.
Bin full of bins.
We call it the basement of our coach.
The fourth TV or the first TV, depending on how you look at it. So we got an outside TV. I think it's 45 inches, maybe 55 inches.
I think it's 55 with a sound bar.
Yeah, with the sound bar.
Which is fun when you're camping and you don't really want to be camping. You want to be watching whatever's on TV.
We don't use it in this lot, but we do use it whenever
we use it a lot on the road, yeah.
On the road, yeah. Then you've got some smaller bins. So this is actually just our hydraulics. So this is where we can access all of our hydraulics. Funny story, our first coach, we got stuck in the mud. When I say we, it was actually me. I got it stuck in the mud, and we bought a big snatch strap that does 46,500 pounds if we ever get stuck again.
Luckily, we've never needed it in this coach.
We've never needed it. It's still brand new.
Chris learned his lesson that time. His uncle had to bail him out on the farm and come get him out with a tractor.
With the small tractor. We've got our battery bay, so we've got 8 6-volt batteries.
One thing to mention, those are not lithium, right?
Those aren't lithium, so that'd be one of the upgrades that I would recommend if somebody was going to have this coach. We don't boondock that much. This gives us 24 hours of boondocking with the batteries. If you're going to boondock a lot, you want to just use the solar, because we do have solar. You don't want to be running the generator. I would recommend getting the lithium upgrade, but it is one of the upgrades we don't have in this coach.
Yeah, we were going to do it, but we just didn't end up using them with the generator. We don't really need it.
We just don't boondock that much, so it didn't make sense for us. And then just some of the extra stuff, we've got an automatic surge suppressor, transfer switch, battery chargers, some of the manual switch offs if we wanted to turn off some of the batteries, but just keeps our engine batteries charged whenever we're parked, as well as a surge suppressor. So if you've watched our videos, you've seen that I always use another external surge suppressor, but it has one built into the coach. So you wouldn't have to use the external if you didn't want to.
And how many tires do we have in total? We have 6, right?
4, 6, 8.
We have 8.
We have 8, sorry.
Wow, we're kind of slow with the math today, aren't we?
6 didn't sound right.
It didn't sound right, but I was thinking, I know it's not 10. I should have thought 8, but
6 in the rear, because we've got 4 in the front axle, 2 in the rear axle, and 2 in the steer axle.
Yeah, and the tires are still in really good shape too. I mean, they still got what, another 30, 40,000 miles?
These tires are rated for 7 years, 70,000 miles.
So you still got another 40,000 miles.
40,000 miles, and we cover them. We've got the UV projection on them at all times, so they're not going to age out. You're going to mile out these tires.
Yeah, definitely recommend keeping them covered like we have. That makes a big difference. Yeah. Last bin.
So this is just access to the engine. This is easy access for when you're changing the oil. You can see last time they changed the oil. You can see all the filters are brand new. Oil filter, diesel water filter, and diesel filter. These are the the coach batteries, chassis batteries, sorry. And then this is the other access for the DEF if you needed to get access to the DEF.
And then again, it is another thing, like we wanted to make sure that we got this thing serviced and maintained before we sell it. Sometimes people will sell it before their service appointment because they don't want to pay for it, but we did all of that just to make sure it's taken care of so the next owner doesn't have to worry about anything till 45,000 miles.
Yeah, this is good till the next service. And we actually have recorded and documented everything that we've done to it.
Yeah.
So
Chris has a whole binder with
everything
everything in it.
Everything that we've done.
It's a pretty great unit.
Yep.
All right, let's get to the exciting part, the inside, what everybody's gonna wanna see.
This is the exciting part.
Well, that's what you say, but I think the inside's more exciting. Okay, now that Chris has taken us through the whole outside of our RV, I'm gonna take you through the inside. We'll go through all the bits about the floor plan, the features that we like, and show you the whole inside, which is obviously my favorite part. Okay, so starting on the inside of our RV, arguably the best part. I'm sure Chris would argue that the engine is the best part, but to me, the inside is the best.
I love the inside.
It is nice.
Yes.
When we first bought this RV at the Florida RV Super Show in Tampa, we walked into this RV and seriously my jaw dropped. Like, I just thought it was the most beautiful thing. I thought it was so amazing, and it was so ahead of its time because most of the other motorhomes looked really outdated, and American Coach did a beautiful job designing this one. So we're gonna start in the cab and we'll just work our way back. We're gonna talk about some of the features in here and also talk about some of the upgrades and things that we've done, things we've fixed, and other improvements that we've made, and just showcase why this is gonna be such a great RV for whoever buys it. So here in the cockpit, we've got 2 captain seats. These chairs can swivel, they turn around. So if you wanted to use that to have more living area seating, you can do that. We don't tend to do that too much just because it's just the 2 of us, but these are pretty comfortable chairs and they recline. So it's nice when you have guests. Up here, we have our navigation screen, and then also our camera system shows up here. So these are really great while driving. It's all geared towards the driver. So these face Chris while he's driving, and you've got nice big screens here. This is all on the Freightliner chassis. So this is all Freightliner technology. Works really well, very seamless, very nice driving experience.
What's nice about those is when you got the blinker on, you can see your left side. You got the right blinker on, you can see your right side. When you're backing up, you can see the backup. So it's nice you can see all around you.
What's cool too about the navigation that's built into this is that it's an RV safe GPS. So it enters in the dimensions of this rig specifically are in the GPS, and it makes sure that it doesn't take you on any routes that aren't safe for the RV, which has saved us quite a number of times. Then we also have a big dash here, and this is where, when this is on, this is where you see all the things like, you know, your speedometer, your tire pressure, all of those types of things. Again, what's really nice about this chassis is that that's all built in. So you have a built-in TPMS, so that way you can always make sure that the tires are at the right pressure and the right temperature.
It's got adaptive cruise control. It's got LiDAR. It's got a number of safety features that you would typically find in a car. I didn't expect to actually find inside the coach, but we have them in the coach.
Super high tech from that perspective. Then over here, we have our leveling system. So what is really great about this rig is that we have the HWH leveling system. So once we get parked at a campground or an RV spot, with the touch of a button, you just put level down and it levels the RV. It gets it pretty close to perfect every time. Sometimes we'll adjust it here or there just a little bit. But also the nice thing about it is that the jacks can go up or down on any of the sides, so you can control all of that. So, you know, like let's say it gets leveled and your front tires are off the ground, but you don't want them to be, you can just put them down and make it leveled the way you want it to. So.
It actually uses a combination of air leveling with the air suspension as well as hydraulic. So it's actually pretty nice. I don't know that we've ever had the front wheels or any wheels off the ground in this because it does such a good job of leveling.
It does.
Whereas with our Super C, we used to have the front tires off the ground quite a bit.
It does a great job. And then one of the big benefits of having a Class A is having this huge front windshield. So this is so nice when you're out driving, or even when you're parked at a place like right now, we're at our RV lot in Michigan and we face this beautiful pond. So we get a really nice view out the front window, which we love. There's also storage cabinets here. So we store different things for driving up here. We have a TV here, which I'll say we very rarely use. Sometimes while driving, I'll put this on, or I'll use this while I'm doing like yoga or something. These cabinets have all of our technology things built in. So that is our Wi-Fi booster. We've got our internet in here, so our T-Mobile internet. This also is where we have our slide out controls up front. We can also control that in the back, which I'll show you in a bit, but that's where you can control them up here. And then just more technology and storage components. Yeah,
that's actually our Wi-Fi. Sorry, that was our Wi-Fi router and our cell phone booster. So we've got a cell phone booster that enables you to boost like T-Mobile or AT&T. Those are the 2 that we use. Yeah. And it gives us quite a good signal.
Another upgrade that we added, which is nice.
One of the other upgrades I'll mention is Hillary mentioned the front window. One of the things that I did is we actually added a bunch of insulation to the front of the coach underneath, so it's a bit quieter than the stock. It was nice stock, but we just went ahead and added a bunch of insulation to the front so that it's like even quieter than stock when you drive.
When we toured the new 2025 model of the American coaches, we learned that that was something that they did. They added more insulation to the front, and so Chris took a look at what they did and he DIY added it in this one just to make it nicer. Okay, let's start on this side. So we've got the living area over here. This is actually a sleeper sofa. So you can take out these cushions. I won't take them all out, but just to show you, it does open up, pull out the bed, pretty easy access. So this is great if you have kids, grandkids, friends over that need a place to sleep, or when Chris is naughty, this comes in handy. We have a nice window here, televator TV. So we have a button, let's see, I won't put it all the way up right now, but we do have a button on this side where if you press it, the TV pops up. So you can see that. Storage cabinets up here. There's actually quite a bit of storage in this RV. I remember when we first moved in, we weren't sure if we were going to have space for everything that was in our other Super C motorhome. Turns out we had way more space. So in these cabinets is where I keep all of my camera equipment and recording stuff like microphones and my drone and all of that good stuff. But, you know, just tons of storage cabinets.
I mean, that's a good point in general. We live in this full time and space is not an issue for us. We've always got a little bit of additional space somewhere, whether it's under the coach or in the cabinets. We're pretty efficient with our space, but we still have lots of space.
But it does have a little bit to do with the fact too that we're both minimalists, so that helps. Right. But there's definitely plenty of space. Then over here we have our theater sofa seating. So this is great because we can actually recline the couch and sit and watch TV. This is where we spend most of our evenings, out on the couch. What's nice about this is that it reclines both on the foot and also the headrest reclines as well, moves. So that way you can make sure that you've got a comfortable neck adjustment there. And then we've got more storage cabinets up here, which we keep food and coffee and axles, bins and things like that. And then other important documents and stuff in here. So, you know, again, the theme of this RV is gonna be storage, but there's lots of it. Moving into the dining room / dog area combo. So we have the dinette booth here, which is really nice for a couple reasons because you can sit more people. So you could sit up to 4 people here, but it also has storage underneath. So we keep all of our computer equipment and things down here that we need for work. We tucked away Axel's little bed down here and he thinks of this as like his little cave. He just loves sleeping in here. It makes him feel kind of boxed in and protected, so he loves that. And then up here we have more cabinets where we keep like extra cleaning supplies and our laundry supplies and, you know, cleaning rags and things like that. On this side we have the kitchen, which is probably one of the main selling features to me when we bought this RV. I loved the kitchen. I really like all the off-white cabinets in here. This is quartz countertop, really high-end fancy stuff. Backsplash is really nice. The big window behind in the kitchen when you're cooking. We've had it before. We've been parked like in the Rocky Mountains and I have a view of the Rockies outside while I'm doing the dishes, which is just amazing. Big farmhouse style sink. We have a pull-out peninsula right here that you can pull out, has more countertop space and it's pretty sturdy too. So I do a lot of like prep work on this or setting up the plates and things. We've got drawers in each of these cabinets that have a lot of depth to them so they can store quite a bit. You know, we've got all the cabinets here for our dishes, plates, bowls, Tupperware, all the things like that. Again, when we first moved in, we were thinking this isn't really that much space, but if you see here in this cabinet, like this actually goes pretty far back. And so we can store all of our pots and pans. I mean, you do have to sometimes take things out to get to the stuff in the back, but there's plenty of space for everything. Under here, we've got a big cabinet. This is really great to have because we've put all of our cleaning supplies down here, Axel's food, our big air fryer goes down here. So lots of space under there. Silverware drawer is here, which this all came with all these pre-divided areas by American Coach. So just another nice high-end touch. We have a 2-burner induction cooktop. So under here you can lift this up and it's got a induction cooktop, which is great for cooking, works really, really well. We have our coffee machine there. This is a microwave convection oven combo. We don't really use it as an oven, but because I don't think it works nearly as well as an actual oven, but it does work, but obviously it works well as a microwave. And then down here is probably one of my favorite parts as well that we did not have in our Super C, which is a dishwasher. So you have to knock to unlock it, and we need to unload this baby, or I should say that's your job to unload the dishwasher. But you can see we can actually fit a good bit of dishes in here. And what's nice about it is that it is small, but what we do is we end up just running it almost once a day or once every other day, once we're connected to full hookups and everything. And it cleans it all really well, sanitizes it. And so you just rinse stuff off and throw it in the dishwasher.
It's also pretty efficient. It uses between 3 and 5 gallons. So when you're just boondocking and all you have is the tanks, it doesn't fill your tanks up, so it's actually pretty nice.
Another thing about buying a used RV is that you want to make sure that you know who you're buying it from, how they used it, and how they maintained it. It's really, really important. When we bought our first Super C, we bought it from a buyer, it was used, and it really wasn't very well maintained, and we had to kind of learn that lesson the hard way. But simple things like, because we live in this full time, we take care of this so much. Small things like we use a dehumidifier a lot, especially anytime we're in humid climates. So like right now we're in Michigan, it's getting pretty muggy, so we've been running this dehumidifier, and you can see it collects water down here. Pull this out. And all that moisture would have been in the RV, but now it's being collected inside this dehumidifier, and that helps prevent mold and that kind of musty smell that sometimes you get from these types of things. So that's just one of the things we do to make sure that we're always maintaining this RV.
I think it's funny that we consider Michigan to be a mildewy or a humid place.
Well, it is right now.
Yeah.
Refrigerator. So this is another thing that is awesome about this RV. We have
the magnets do not come with it.
No, the magnets do not. These are our magnets, our collections. Those will be staying with us. But this is such a nice refrigerator. It's huge. It's full residential size. We can fit so much food in here. It's got this big refrigerator part up here, a separate drawer here, and then a big freezer, which we have fully loaded down right now, which can hold lots of stuff. So we went to Costco on our way to Michigan since there's not one near us, and we stocked up on meat and stuff. And it's great that we actually have the room to do that in this RV. We also have these handy dandy locks that'll come with it. So you can put these on and then it doesn't open. So that's for travels, really nice to have. It's another add-on we did. In here, we've got our pantry. So lots of space for all of your cooking stuff. You know, we got like pasta sauce and canned goods and spices and things. It pulls out here. This again, really nice quality by American Coach. They did such a great job with these types of things. And this is just really great for cooking. And we, you know, like we said before, we have a ton of space in here and it's never been an issue having space for things like food. Another awesome perk of this RV is a full washer and dryer. This is not a small compact size. These are full residential size washer and dryer. And what's the thing about the dryer, babe? They're 240?
It's 240.
240.
Yeah. It's not underpowered, right? It's like a house dryer. This
dries your clothes really well. It dries towels. I wash all over bedding in here. You know, it can fit a king size comforter. So this is amazing to have in an RV. Then this is the computer for the entire RV. I like to call it the computer or the motherboard, but here is where you can control everything for the RV. You can check your tank levels, you can turn on and off the lights, you can set the temperature, you can turn the air conditioning on, you can control all the shades and blinds here. You can also control the awnings for outside and also the slide outs. There's a lot of different setup and different things in here as well that you can go through, but this is really cool because it's a very high-tech system. It's called a Firefly system, I think is the brand, right? Firefly?
Firefly, yeah.
And they have an app actually. So we have an app on our phone. So that way when we're away from the RV, we can control things like the temperature or monitor the temperature remotely from if we're gone somewhere and we want to check in on Axel. We've also had it happen before where we forgot to put in the awnings and we noticed it was getting windy and we were like out to dinner or something. So we were able to remotely put the awnings in, which is pretty slick in my opinion.
Interesting. I mean, you can do everything remotely except the slides or put the awnings out. You can put them in, but you can't put them out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Then in here is the half bathroom. This is a little bit small of a bathroom, but it's a pretty decent size. This is actually Chris's bathroom. Or our travel day bathroom. It's
perfect for me.
It is perfect for him. We only have one sink in the back. So this is the sink that he uses. There's lots of room in this cupboard. I'm not going to open it because he's a little bit messy. You got space below the sink. Also, really high quality toilets in this RV. I know that doesn't sound like a big deal to a lot of people, but these are Tecma toilets. They are macerators, so they help grind everything up and make sure that nothing gets stuck in the toilet. Heavy duty porcelain toilets that are a really nice feature to have in an RV. And then you've got a window here. This is the only window in the RV that has manual shades. I'm not sure why all the other ones are motorized, but obviously you can pull these down for privacy. And this bathroom is great to have for travel, especially because once the slides are in, you would actually have to climb over the bed to get to the back bathroom. So this one is just nice, easy access for travel. Then moving into the bedroom, we've got a pretty big bedroom, I think. You know, you've got opposing slide outs, which give you quite a bit of space. This is a king size bed. It is an RV king. So I think it's a little bit less wide than a regular king.
I think it's 80 inches long and 72 inches wide.
Yeah, so I think it's the length of a king, but not quite the width. But it is bigger than a traditional queen size bed. So, you know, we have a lot of space here. On the side of the bed, you've got a little nightstand area here with wireless chargers, which is a nice feature. And you've also got USB plugs and an outlet there. You have lots of storage up here. We keep, you know, additional, I've got a heated blanket and things like that up here. There's also plugs up there. So if you have like a CPAP machine or something, you can plug into it. Also a cool feature is that there's another touch screen here. So whenever we're laying in bed and we don't feel like getting up to go touch that other computer board, we can just lay in here and touch, you know, turn off all the lights and things like that. So it's a nice feature by American Coach. Also, when we travel, one thing to mention is that this bed goes up, so it has a remote where the bed actually folds up to allow both of the slides to come in and to give it room for that. Then on this side, we've got the wardrobe dresser area. This is huge on it. Again, we weren't sure it was gonna have enough space for all of our clothes. This has so much room. These drawers are huge. They're not even full here. I mean, I keep my t-shirts in here and it's not even full. And you can see it's got dovetail on the side. So really nice quality by American Coach. Continues with the quartz countertops. We've got extra drawers here. I keep my jewelry and things in here. Behind the TV, there's yet another TV. We've got more storage, hidden storage. This is where we keep our vacuum cleaner. We have it mounted here out of the way, really nice to just be able to keep it out of the way. Then we also have a safe here. So this is nice for keeping valuables and things, and that way you don't have to worry about it. And in case you're wondering, quiz for people, how many TVs we have in this RV? How many do we have, babe?
4.
4. We have more TVs in this 400 square foot RV than we did our 2,000 square foot house that we owned.
There's 2 TVs for each of us, plus one for every 100 square feet.
It's a little bit crazy.
Silly.
Then in here, we have hanging clothes and stuff. So this is where I keep all of my tops in here.
That's an additional feature there. We added lights inside there.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We've done a lot of things. So yeah, Chris added all the lights in here because I couldn't stand not being able to see my clothes.
Also, we also made them both hanging.
Oh yeah, that's right. They had shelves in here and we turned it into hanging.
Yeah.
That is true. And well, I'll show you this in the bathroom, but one thing I'm a bit of an OCD clean freak. So I added this non-stick bottom here to the bottom of every single drawer and shelf. So we're going to take this out whenever we move out, which will make it look like everything is brand new. Like nothing is stained, nothing is dirty. Everything is going to be spotless in here. All right. And then another thing that Chris added to this, which is just, again, more things that he's done. So these doors, this slides to shut for the bedroom door, and it has magnets, and the magnets work pretty well to keep the door shut, but they don't work perfectly. Like anytime we'd hit a sharp curve or hit a bump or something, these would sometimes slide open and go swinging like crazy. So Chris added these hooks and things that you can put right up here, and that just helps to secure the door just to make sure it doesn't come slamming open on a travel day, just to protect the door and everything. So again, just some of the nice features and upgrades that you're getting with this nice used coach. In the bathroom, Axel decided to join us in the bathroom. Hey, buddy. The one downside I will say of this floor plan specifically, this is a Dream 45A like we mentioned earlier. There's only one sink here in the bathroom. And at first we kind of weren't sure that was going to work for us, but it's honestly worked perfectly. Like we mentioned earlier, Chris uses the half bathroom. I use this bathroom, and it's actually kind of nice because then we're not on top of each other.
I love it.
And we have our own space. And I can also, I don't fuss at Chris because if his bathroom is a mess, I just shut the door and I don't go in there and even look at it. So we've got a closet back here. This is actually a pretty good sized closet. We have all of our hanging clothes, all of our coats are in here. We have a shoe rack in the back for all of our extra shoes. And we also have a laundry hamper in here with things like backpacks and stuff. So this is great to have an actual closet space to keep all your clothes. Like we mentioned in the half bathroom, we have another Tecma toilet. So really nice high quality toilet. This is actually an emergency egress. So this, in the event of emergency, let's say we were driving and the RV flipped over and we couldn't get out of the front door, this actually turned into an emergency exit, and these turn into steps. So that way you can get outside. So important feature there. The vanity here, again, really nice. It came with all of this nice lighting and countertops and storage space. So in here, basically like a medicine cabinet where I don't keep medicine, but I keep all of my makeup and items I need for getting ready. But lots of space on either side. Ton of space underneath the sink. I use this for extra stuff for my Dyson hair wrap and nail polish, all those girly kind of things that Chris knows nothing about. Then in here we have the shower. Come here, buddy. Axel, you want to show him the shower? Come on, let's go show him the shower. And here we have the shower, which I think is a beautiful design. I think American Coach did a really great job picking out the tile and the finishes. It's actually a pretty good sized shower. I mean, I'm literally in here with Axel right now and I've still got space to move around. We've got a permanent bench here. So this is great for like, you know, shaving your legs and things, which again, Chris knows nothing about.
I use that all the time.
But it's a really good sized shower and it's a nice, pretty feature to have. And you can close this and it also has a lock on it. So again, for travel, that way you don't have to worry about a glass door slamming open and breaking. And then in here we have kind of an additional cabinet space. So we keep things like medicine, towels, all that good stuff in here. This door is another sliding door. It has a full mirror on this side, which is great for getting ready. And then Chris also added another one of these hooks so we can hook that door and make sure it's not going to come open on travel. But honestly, I mean, this RV has everything you could possibly need or want. In my opinion, like, I don't think that, you know, there's nothing that we were missing after we sold our house. We're like, gosh, I wish the RV had that. This RV has so much, and it's honestly been the most amazing home for us. You love it too, huh, buddy? You've loved this RV. You're going to be so sad to say goodbye to Carly, huh? You're such a good puppy.
He loves the bed.
He does. One of the other things I forgot to mention was that this is a full wall slide out too. And what's great about this is that it operates on hydraulics and it is a flat level floor. So this was kind of a fancy upgrade for American Coach where this is level, this slide out. So there's no step up, there's no carpet or anything, which I think is a pretty slick feature that it just gives you kind of that seamless open floor plan. And I mean, I'm 5'8" and I have plenty of space above me. There's lots of room. Chris is 6'2". 6'2". And I mean, you still have at least another 1.5 feet above your head. So plenty of space, you know, I've got a pretty big wingspan. You've got lots of room here. But the other thing I did want to mention too is, I know I kind of hinted at this, but I am a total clean freak. So we keep this RV so spick and span at all times. Having a dog, you know, having a man that lives in the house that likes to bring in dirt, the place can get dirty quickly because it is a small space. So I especially have worked really, really hard to keep this RV clean all the time. We've even had it professionally cleaned a number of times. There's no smell. It is in immaculate condition. And I can also say that there's nothing wrong on this RV. So we have fixed everything. We've gotten our warranty work done. We have done all the grunt work to make sure that this RV is in perfect condition. And that's all on Chris. Like, Chris has really done such an amazing job to make sure that this RV is operating smoothly and perfectly. So,
and I can attest to the fact that Hillary keeps it clean.
He says that as he's rolling his eyes.
Good thing. It's a good thing I'm off camera.
All right, buddy. Are you ready to see this RV go to a new home? Are you ready for somebody else to have adventures in Carly? Well, it is truly the end of an era. This RV has been so much more to us than just an RV. It has truly been our home for the past 2.5 years, and we can't wait to see whoever buys this, all the adventures that they're gonna have ahead of them.
Yeah, I mean, we're actually sad in selling it. It's been 2.5 years. We've loved every minute of having this coach.
We actually were just shooting some B-roll inside and taking some photos of it. And we were just thinking to ourselves, why are we selling this? This is such a beautiful RV. Like, I don't want to get rid of it.
And I get emotionally attached to every vehicle that I've ever owned. So I'm going to be a bit sad.
Yeah, it's true. It will be hard for sure. If you're interested in our RV, you're going to be able to find it at the NIRVC Nashville location. They're located in Lebanon, Tennessee. We're going to be dropping off this coach on June 6th to them and handing over the keys. So the following week, June 8th or 9th, it should be available for tours. But if you're interested, you can send us an email at hello@fuelyourwander.com and reach out. We can provide more information, or you can also go to the NIRVC website. It's not listed on the website yet. It won't be until after we drop it off, but you'll be able to find more details then. Otherwise, feel free to reach out to us if you have questions or if you're interested in learning more about it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll answer any questions that we can, tell you everything that we've done to the coach, everything we've had an issue with. So we're happy to share everything.
Yeah. I think the biggest feature we probably didn't mention in the tour is that this thing is seriously internet famous. Like, this has gotten hundreds of millions of views on all the tour videos that we've done. It's been seen around the world. It's been featured on mega influencer channels like Supercar Blondie did a feature on it. And it has really been a pretty amazing RV.
It's more famous than than any of us by far. Yeah.
Everybody knows about Carly for sure. But like Chris mentioned, whoever ends up buying it is going to be getting a really, really good RV. Anytime you buy an RV, it's kind of a gamble on who owned it, how well it was maintained. And obviously you can look at our channel and see that we really cared for and loved this RV. And we also got a lot of the kinks out. Buying an RV new is great for a lot of reasons. But the one challenge about it is that you go through what's called the shakedown period. And so we've already gone through that. We've already fixed everything that needed to be fixed. And it is a really good quality coach.
No, that's very true. And like Hillary mentioned, you can totally see everything that we've done to this coach or not done to this coach and every issue that we've had with it. So there's nobody else, I think, that's selling a coach that you can document almost mile for mile what's happened to that coach over the last couple of years.
Yeah. And let's not forget about the fact that since we bought it new, we are eating most of the depreciation on it. So most of the depreciation is already gone, and that's something that we've paid for. So you're getting a really good value by buying this gently used RV.
Gently used.
All right, well, stay tuned for what's next, because in our next couple of videos, we're going to be sharing the big reveal about what we're up to. But we'd love to hear from you what you think we're doing next. So leave us some comments and give us your ideas and guesses for what we're doing.
Thanks, everybody, for watching.
See you next time.